Hey guys, it's Brian from J&P Cycles, and buying a Bluetooth helmet communication system can be somewhat intimidating, but luckily J&P's got you covered. Now if you haven't bought one yet, or if you're in the process of shopping, check a link in the description below where we have a buyer's guide to show you how to shop for a Bluetooth based off your routing style and needs. This video, we're going to focus and show you on how to install that. Now it's fairly simple, so whether you have a half shell or a 3/4 open face helmet or a full face helmet, the installation is the exact same. The microphone is just going to change. So whether you have a face or chin bar in front of you or not, it's really the only difference. So first we're going to start off with the pack. We need to mount it to the shell and then work everything through. Let's get into it. I'm going to show you how to install the Sena 30K Bluetooth helmet communication device. Now when doing this install, the first step is we want to protect our helmet. So if you're working on some type of table, I would suggest using a helmet donut, which is just a piece of rubber that you can set the helmet on to prevent it from being scratched or chipping off any of the vents or spoilers that are on it. If you don't have a helmet donut, feel free to use like a rolled up bath towel, as it'll work the same. We want to locate where the shell of the helmet meets the interior liner, and I'm not talking about just the padding here. We want to get this in between the EPS liner, which is that foam, and the shell. The next thing you're going to need to do is locate your mounting plate, which is usually somewhat already tied to the Bluetooth unit. If it is, just remove them and set the Bluetooth unit aside, because all we need to do is focus on this mounting plate. Now on the Sena unit, this plate actually comes off, so I'm going to remove this here so I can slide this plate in between both the shell and the liner. Now before we install the rest of our base plate here, I really want to pay attention to the ports on the back. Now every unit is a little different. Some have interchangeable, and what I'm talking about is for the headphones and the microphones. So like this port on the Sena unit, I can actually adjust from different speakers to different microphones. And what I mean by that is you have your standard boom microphone, which is really good for open face, 3/4, modular helmets or open helmets. And this is a adjustable, kind of like little metal rod here, microphone. Or if you're running a full face helmet and you don't have all that extra room, they have a stationary microphone here, which just sits to the front of the chin bar, just a couple inches away from your mouth, and it's just this small little cable here. So I'll show you how to route this. We're going to use this. So before I install the rest of this plate here, I'm going to simply plug these into my unit, plug my speakers in, now we're ready to connect this to the back of the base plate and be done with the mounting bracket itself. Next, with any supplied hardware, make sure to mount the unit to the back of the base plate. All right, now that we have the base already installed, let's work on the microphone part first. Now, being that this is a full face setup, we're going to install this wired mic. They come with extra like Velcro pads here, and usually they give you spares, so this is nice, and you can put it either horizontally or vertically depending on your shape. Now, every full face is a little different depending on vents, and the microphone doesn't have to be directly in front of your mouth, so if it's off to the side just a bit, it still works fine. So just mount your Velcro in a good spot that isn't covered up by any vents, and then stick your microphone to that Velcro. Don't worry about this extra wire. We're going to route it underneath the cheek pads to keep it out of the way and keep a clean look. Now we're ready to mount the speakers. In order to do this, we need to remove any type of cheek pads. So most helmets with removable cheek pads will have pockets in them to which you could place a speaker. These pockets are just little recessed grooves there, so that when the speaker sits inside, it's not going to press up against your ear and be uncomfortable. Simply, like we did with the microphone, put the Velcro backing behind here and then install your speaker in that slot. If your helmet doesn't have one of those little cutouts, it's okay. Mark out this hole where your ear is, and that's the best spot for the speaker to go. With your one side speaker installed, now just mimic the same process for the other side. Since our helmet's only half, I'm just going to kind of leave this off to the side here. I'm going to show you how to reroute the wires. First, we need to remove the headliner here, and that's going to create a lot of space to where we can kind of hide any of this extra cable length here out of the way. The more you can position your wiring here to either fall behind some of these snaps or anywhere where the padding is going to hold it in, it's going to be more comfortable because we don't have to tape anything down, tie anything down, and it's going to prevent any of those feelings of anything poking you in the head, because our headliner here is just going to hold all that wiring in place and out of the way. And that's going to give you a very seamless look. The last step we need to do is install your cheek pad. So you're going to run your chin straps back through, and just like we did with the speakers, take your microphone wire and kind of hide it behind here, behind the snaps. So if I know a snap is going to go here, I'm going to run that wire around. That way that snap holds that in place. Now, if you have any extra kind of wiring exposed or hanging out there, that's okay. If it bothers you, it'd probably bother me. Just throw a bead of tape over there if you desire. With your microphone and speakers installed, flip your helmet back around and ensure that the base plate is in the right position, because we're ready to mount the Bluetooth unit itself. With your Bluetooth unit installed, make sure you charge the battery up to 100% before you get out and ride and use it the first time. If you don't, you could run the risk of killing some of the battery life down the road. Now, if you'd like to see more gear reviews or product installs, make sure to follow us on social media, subscribe to us on YouTube, and together we'll help you find what's next.